From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. Tennessee voters get their chance to participate in the nation's presidential nominating process. Our state is among 13 others holding both the Democratic and Republican primaries up this coming Tuesday. Where does the race stand in Tennessee? And where are we headed nationally with so many delegates to national conventions for both parties being selected on what's known as Super Tuesday? We invited two of our best political analysts to join us this week on Inside Politics to sort things out. They are Republican Deborah Maggart and Democrat Larry Woods. Welcome back to both of you.
Thank you.
Tennessee's participated in Super Tuesday during many election cycles, but I don't know that we've ever got, Larry, as much participation by the candidates this time. When Bloomberg's here for 3 times this final Friday of the election cycle, other candidates are coming in the last few days, a lot of late TV buys. What's going on?
I think the primary difference is first time in a long series of cycles, there's no clear Democratic winner after Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada. I think Joe Biden's going to win South Carolina. That's going to mean it's even more crowded.
Deborah, the turnout overall is a lot lower than it was in 2016 because we only have a really active primary on one side. President Trump's got less than nominal opposition against him. What are the Republicans going to do? Any of them going to cross over perhaps and vote for what they might consider to be the weakest Democrat?
Well, they might, but I think they might be breaking the law if they do that. You know, we have rules about that in our state, but people do that. I know they do.
You can be a Democrat for a day or a Republican for a day.
That's true. We're still on this open. We're still in this open primary state. That's right.
Well, everybody would think that they'd all be focusing everything they could on both California and Texas. So why come to Tennessee very much? And yet they're all coming here, even some with late things. Is there a feeling that they want to get a delegate if they can, because it's not just given on a statewide level?
That's right. There are rules now where you can win some delegate seats based on the vote in congressional districts if you're more than 15%.
And the threshold is 15%,
That's right. Which is what's going to lead to a brokered convention in Milwaukee for the Democrats.
Well, the fact that Bloomberg's coming here 3 times on that last Friday, is that an indication that Tennessee's one of the states he thinks he can win?
I would assume so. Bloomberg obviously has enough money to run every poll you can imagine.
But he's canceled a couple of late television buys. Not completely, but he's cut it back. What does that mean? He needs money someplace else?
Bloomberg has hit his high point and is going down, and therefore I think he feels like he needs to focus his assets in the big states like California, Texas.
Deborah, Bloomberg had a terrible first debate when he came on 2 weeks ago, and then last week he had another debate. Did he do better? Has he gotten any momentum back in your eyes?
Well, I don't know, because here in Tennessee, I know he's very organized. There's a lot of Democrat operatives that are on his payroll, so they are very organized. I thought his ad I saw this morning on Fox News, I saw a Bloomberg ad this morning on Fox News about how he can handle a crisis, and I thought it was an ad directed towards this virus issue going along. So
he is one of the biggest variety of ads I think I've ever seen in a political campaign. I mean, he's had a new ad almost every week.
But he doesn't come across as a nice person, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little elitist. You know, he talked about something the other day about how he shook hands with somebody that was a bellman or something, just so the guy could understand what it's like to shake hands with a guy like him. You know, I mean, what is
that's
that?
Awful.
You know, so that's not very nice, right? I mean, Trump has his moments when he is not nice at all.
If anybody,
little guys like Trump.
If anybody on the Democratic side comes in as the front runner, it's probably Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. He's won a couple of those last 2 primaries in Nevada, also did well in New Hampshire, and almost won in Iowa, although nobody will ever know who won in Iowa.
True.
Larry, Sanders and Bloomberg are both Yankees for down here. They're both of the Jewish faith. That would seem to be odd choices if those are the 2 top candidates in Tennessee in a white, conservative southern state.
Well, but I think nobody really views them in those kind of categories, or very few people view them in those kind of categories. The days when the church you went to or temple, etc., really meant something, those days are long gone, I think. I think from this point forward, the only viable Democrat candidates are going to be Biden, Bloomberg, and Sanders.
Well, let's talk about Biden. Everybody, you would have thought perhaps he was going to be a person to beat here early on in the campaign. He obviously is faded perhaps for a number of different reasons. He's been a presidential candidate before, but has never won a primary. If he wins big in South Carolina, and the latest polls seem to indicate it may be in double digits, where does he take that momentum? He's not taking it to Tennessee. He's done very little here, and very late television by a very small size.
Biden's problem immediately becomes there's so many states the following week, including us on Super Tuesday, that if there are only one or two, he could use a South Carolina boost to win those one or two. But when there are 13 or however many, now it's too diffused. He's got to focus on the big ones, California. Of course, it's all chopped up by districts rather than one statewide winner. So
Deborah,
I think, again, it's going to be a brokered convention.
Deborah, you're kind of on the outside looking in, but if Sanders wins in both California, where he looks to be way ahead in the polls that I've seen, Texas is a lot closer with Biden, but if he wins those two states or gets the majority of delegates there, is he going to be able to be stopped?
Well, that's a great question. The Democrats are working hard, I think, behind the scenes to stop him. But I still have a hard time believing that our country is going to elect someone that is he says he's a democratic socialist. And I just can't believe that that we are in a position that the American people will do that.
Well, Larry, even in the debate this week, some of his opponents were saying, well, gee, if Bernie Sanders gets the nomination, the people are going to hear that word socialist and his ideas that they consider to be radical. And I mean, his own people were knocking him.
I think everybody that has a emotional reaction to the word socialist is already for Trump. We're for him 3 years ago.
Not for another Democrat?
I'm saying that the anti-socialists, whatever that means, are for Trump, regardless of who the Democrat nominee is. And the reason any of the Democrats can win in November, Biden, Bloomberg, Sanders, or if any of these other minor candidates now show up, is primarily, look at the margin of victory for Trump in those Midwestern states that won the election for him. They're all less vote totals than the Green Party candidate got. If we run a candidate who appeals to the Green Party voters, we win in November.
Does Sanders get enough delegates as he goes into Milwaukee to win on the first ballot? Is that going to be the big problem? You're going to have a brokered convention?
I don't think any of them are going to get a majority of the delegates going into the convention in Milwaukee. It'll be the first time we've been in that situation since 1960 when Kennedy got a first ballot nomination in the Los Angeles convention. Therefore, all these candidates that I like who aren't doing well enough, Buttigieg, Warren, etc., they're going to stay in it to the bitter end. They could control the convention with 100 delegates when we get to Milwaukee.
We're talking to Larry Woods and Deborah Maggart. We're talking about the 2020 presidential race and Super Tuesday coming up here in Tennessee on Tuesday. Back to continue our conversation after you watch these messages.